Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. Well, I'd like to talk about traveling part 1. This video focuses on vocabulary of travel essentials and vocabulary of air travel. And you are also going to learn about modal verbs. Okay, let's talk about traveling. Traveling is an activity of going from one place to another place. Now we go to the first vocabulary, travel essentials. These are things that are necessary and required. Luggage or baggage. Bags that you take with you when you travel. Backpack. A large bag used to carry things on your back. Suitcase. A large container with a handle for carrying clothes and possessions. Carry-on bag. A small bag that can be brought by a passenger. Next, clothing. Clothes that you wear in a particular situation. Swimsuit. A piece of clothing that you wear for swimming. Sandals. Light shoes. Hiking boots. Strong boots for long walks. You also need to bring money. It can be in a form of coins, notes, or credit cards to buy things. ATM card. It is a card that allows you to take money out of your bank account using a cash machine. Cash. Money in the form of notes and coins. Next, you need to consider your health. You have to protect yourself while traveling. When traveling, don't forget to bring this. First aid kit. A box containing basic medical equipment. Medication. A set of medicine or drugs to treat an illness or a disease. Vaccination. You need to get a vaccine to prevent getting a disease. You also have to bring documents. A set of papers with written or printed information. Driver's license. A document showing an official permission to drive a car or other motor vehicle. Student ID, a card certifying that you are a student. ID card, an official identity card that gives information about you. Boarding pass, a card that a passenger must have. Passport, an official document that allows you to travel to foreign countries. The second vocabulary is related to air travel. Please check the next slide. Check-in desk. It is a place in an airport where travelers show their ticket so that they know where they'll be sitting. Passport control. It is a place in an airport where travelers' passport is checked. Departures board. A board displaying the times and destinations. Gate. A part of an airport where travelers are allowed to get on or off a particular aircraft. Airport lounge. An area in an airport where travelers can relax or wait. Baggage claim. A place in an airport where travelers get their bags when they arrive after flying. Aisle seat. A seat that is next to a long, narrow space between rows of seats. Window seat. A seat that is next to a window. Overhead locker. A locker situated above someone's seat to keep small bags. Meals. The food that you eat at set times. Seat belt. A belt that fastens around you when traveling. Alright, what do you think? Do you like traveling alone or in groups? Let's see the advantages and disadvantages. Well, these are advantages and disadvantages of traveling alone and in groups. When traveling alone, you can go anywhere you want. You can hitchhike or use many kinds of transport. You can have a more personal experience. You can build confidence. But when traveling alone, it might be vulnerable to harassment. When traveling in groups, you can help each other. You can have fun doing group activities. It can be easier to take photos of yourself. And you can have a guide to provide information. But when traveling in groups, you might disagree or have arguments with your friends. When talking about Advantages and disadvantages of traveling alone and in groups. We can use modal verbs. Modal verbs are auxiliary verbs or helping verbs used with another verb to express ideas. These are some modal verbs that are related to traveling. Can, could, dapat, atau bisa. Positive, can, negative, cannot, or can't. The function is to show ability or lack of ability. Untuk menunjukkan kemampuan. Bisa apa? Then, could for positive, for negative, could not or couldn't. The functions are to show ability or lack of ability. And then, possibility or impossibility, and also for suggestion. It is used in affirmative sentence. Fungsi dari could itu sama dengan can untuk menunjukkan kemampuan. Selain itu, tambahannya adalah untuk menunjukkan kemungkinan dan saran yang digunakan untuk kalimat positif biasanya kalau saran. Okay, next. May, might, mungkin. Positive, may or might. Negative, may not and might not. The function is to show possibility or impossibility. Jadi fungsinya untuk menunjukkan kemungkinan. These are the examples. Next, must, have to, has to, need to, needs to. Harus atau perlu. Positive. Must, have to, and need to are used to show obligation or necessity. And then must and have to are used to show rules or law. And need to is to show that it is personally important to you. Untuk kalimat positif, ketiganya mempunyai fungsi yang sama, yaitu untuk menunjukkan suatu kewajiban atau suatu keharusan. Jadi penting untuk dilakukan. Kemudian ada sedikit perbedaan ketika kalian menggunakan must dan have to, itu biasanya untuk suatu aturan atau hukum atau undang-undang yang berlaku. Dan untuk need to, itu biasanya digunakan ketika sesuatu itu penting untuk diri kalian atau secara personal. Now we move to negative. The negative of must not, or mustn't. It is to show prohibition. Remember that it is not allowed. So don't do that. If you do, it is bad. Untuk bentuk negatif dari must, fungsinya adalah sebagai larangan. Jadi tidak boleh dilakukan, tidak diizinkan. Okay, now move to the negative of have to and need to. Don't have to or doesn't have to, then don't need to or doesn't need to. We can also say needn't. This is to show no obligation. So it is not necessary and it is your choice. Bentuk negatif dari have to dan need to itu berfungsi untuk suatu hal yang tidak wajib dilakukan atau tidak harus dilakukan. Jadi ini adalah pilihan. Okay. Now move to the examples. Look at the pattern. This is for positive and negative. Can, could, cannot, couldn't. May, might, may not, might not. Must, must not, or mustn't. Have to, or has to. Don't have to, doesn't have to. Need to, needs to. Don't need to, doesn't need to, or needn't. Always with verb 1. Note, add be if it is followed by noun, adjective, or adverb. Perhatikan polanya. Modal verbs, baik dalam bentuk kalimat positif atau negatif, selalu diikuti dengan kata kerja bentuk pertama. Jadi tidak ada tambahan es, ed, ing, dan lain-lain. Hanya kata kerja bentuk pertama. Sedikit catatan, tambahkan be jika kalimat tersebut diikuti dengan kata benda, kata sifat, atau kata keterangan. Letakkan be setelah modal verbs. Pakai be jika diikuti kata benda, kata sifat, dan kata keterangan. Is it clear? For more detail, look at this. Modal verbs can, could, may, might, must. For positive or negative, you can use all subject. I, you, they, we, he, she, it. Now, what about have to and has to? I, you, they, we use have to for positive and don't have to for negative. Subjects he, she, it use has to for positive, doesn't have to for negative. Now move to need to, needs to. I, you, they, we use need to for positive, don't need to or needn't for negative. Subjects he, she, it use needs to for positive, doesn't need to or needn't for negative. And always with verb 1. I give you some examples. I can speak English. She cannot speak English. I have to work at the weekend. She has to work at the weekend. They don't have to travel alone. He doesn't have to travel alone. You need to be ready. He needs to be hurry. We don't need to be ready. She doesn't need to be hurry. They needn't be hurry. Now let's practice. There are 6 numbers, and I need you to think about the answers first. Then you can see the answers later. Ready? Go! Okay, finished? Now please check your answers. Alright, now it's your job to think about prohibitions and obligations for travel. Which things you take or do not take when traveling. There are several things and you need to put them in the correct box. The first box, must or have to. The second box, must not or mustn't. And then the third box, need to. And the last is don't have to or don't need to. I need you to write the answers in the volume in Scalza. Well, we've come to the last slide. If you are still confused, you can give me questions, comments, or suggestions. Thank you very much for watching this video, and see you